All right, so today we're looking at the Dracule Mihawk from One Piece. This is the Anime Heroes version, so it's cheaper than SH Figure Arts. It's I'm not even sure how to describe its intent. I think it's meant to just be a toy. I don't think they mean it to be like a collector's item, but well, that's wrong. It's a collector's item, right? But it's definitely a cost effective if you don't want to pay because a character like this is probably going to run you, I don't know, maybe 50, 60 bucks from Tamashi Nations. So, and they haven't put them out yet. So, this is a cost effective version, right? So, I'm going to treat it as such because if you look, you can see all the obvious issues that separates SHF from anime heroes, and clearly it's done intentionally, but there's a lot of good things going on here, and mainly engineering wise, but there's also some things that I think they can do better if they want to compete with the other figures within this price range. So this figure was 20, I think it was 21.99. So bring him in closer. I don't think he looks bad, right? Like there's obvious paint deco that could be there. Like for example, in the mouth area, you could use some paint to bring out the sculpt. Um, Obvious shading on the pants. The buckles that should be gold, not this mustard looking color. The belt should be colored. Um, the boots obviously could be better. Could use some paint. This right here, I did this. This did not come this way. You were not able to put his sword on his back. So I took an X-Acto knife and cut very carefully so that I could slide the sword in the back. Because, whenever you see him, he doesn't always have his weapon drawn, right? But, and I'm just going to tell you now, I'm not the biggest One Piece nerd. I am not caught up at all. I just remember certain characters that I liked. He was one of them. So, with that being said, let's get into it. So, like I said, I did this. I pulled it out. This is the sword. Show you the accessories first. As you can tell, it's missing paint apps. For example, this should be gold anyway, but I think like these little jewels here, they're supposed to be color like blue and green and stuff like that. And so I may go in and paint, but I wanted to just do this review as it is so that you know what you're getting into. He also comes with this set of hands, open hands, which that's fine. It's not the worst. It's not definitely not the best. There's some sculpt in there. But getting back to the figure itself, this is where when you're trying to when you're trying to say only nice things, you run into hiccups because you have issues, right? Your personal issues, things that you think can be better, but you have to curve your expectations because this is not SHF. This is not Mafex. This is not a hot toy. This is not that. This is a economy based action figure. It's meant just to represent the character, and that's it. So first thing I'm gonna say is this is a huge improvement. The way they did these arms, you know, do they still look like little sausages? Yes. That's one of the issues I have with the Anime Hero line, but that is a huge, huge improvement. I mean, look at that. I mean, there is sculpted detail in the arm. There is a swivel. The hand has, you know, the little swivel joint too. I can't get it to turn though, but you know, I can turn the hand at the wrist or whatever. Your arm, for the most part, you're gonna get about that far up. Of course, it goes down. It's not really a butterfly, but it's like kind, you know, because it's a ball joint, kind of works out like the McFarlane stuff. And then the chest, there's no articulation in the chest whatsoever. You get the little ball joint at the waist, and that's about all you're gonna get. The head is ball jointed. You're gonna get really not a whole lot of range. You get a little bit of attitude out of them just because, but it's all cascading. The hat and the little fluff and jacket. So, which also, by the way, the jacket does have some sculpted detail. See if I can bring that out if you can see it. Yeah, sorry about that, y'all. But yeah, other than that, I don't think it looks bad. It's not an SH figure art, right? It kicks up about that high. There is a thigh swivel in there. This is the double jointed. That is nice. That's nice. That's not bad at all. That is actually some pretty good engineering for a figure that costs what it costs. Of course, the foot just popped off. It's just on a ball. Let's see. Come on, focus. There you go. And you can see. So I'll put that back on. Voila, it's not broken. Oh, I didn't show y'all that. Leg goes out. Yeah, he's not gonna Jean-Claude Van Damme or anything like that, but he's good enough, right? You're not buying this thinking that this is the end all be all of this character. I mean, this is one of those things where it's a toy, right? It's meant to be played with. It's not meant to fall over like that either, but it's a toy, right? So the reason why I say that even though this is not the best toy in the world, but it's still not bad. Put his sword in his hand. Let's see, because once you put his sword in his hand, you gotta do a balancing act. So let's see. There you go. Is he gonna stand? Does he want to stand? That's the better question. No. There we go. So the reason why I say this figure is a huge improvement, I'm just gonna move him out the way for a second, you know. This is what Anime Heroes was putting out before. This is yeah. This is bad. This is yeah. I don't even feel like I need to say much about why this is so bad. And for all of you people that love bragging about pinless joints, Mihawk over there is pinless. So, yeah. Even though it articulates like a champ, arm popped out, just pop it back in. Articulates like a champ. I mean, now, if there's one thing I'll give them, is it looks like they were focused on articulation in the beginning. If I can get his hand in there, doing this on the camera is always a pain in the butt. Yeah, he's able to hold his weapon little to no issue. It just looks like crap, right? Looks bad. He looks bad. Yeah. You know, his sausage legs under there. This is like a hard plastic. I put it like this. You can chunk him and he's not breaking like I just did. But upgrade. Look at that. Pinless. It fills out. This is for those of you who love Marvel Legends. This is what you want when you're talking about pinless. This is what you want. That stuff that Hasbro's doing is like yesteryear's pinless. And I don't mean that to be a diss, but it just is what it is. Look at that. That's what you want. You want the sculpt. You don't have to sacrifice on sculpt. Right? Now, that's what this figure does well to me. I think that where it kind of takes an L for me is the lack there of paint. It could use more paint. At the price point, you know, they're only putting out what, 3 characters in a wave. I'm not really understanding why they couldn't put more paint on these figures. I will say that their balancing is a little thing that's off. They could use maybe some ratcheting joints, and that would help with the with like the height and all of that. But more importantly, there's improvement, and that's really all I ask for from any toy company. Give me some improvement. Show me that you're trying to do better. I understand that they're keeping this as a budget-friendly toy line, but there's improvement from what I just showed you with the Bleach figure versus this. You know, the only thing I can ask for at this point is paint. If there's a way, even if you matte out the sheen, like I'm gonna go back and I may go back in and add some paint to this, try to bring out the sculpt. Because there's a lot of sculpt here. You just can't see it because it's not painted. You know, missing details, stuff like that. I think they nailed it with the eyes. You know, I'm glad they did what they did. Even here with the little necklace. Even though, yeah, there you go. You know, it's a separate piece. I can go in and paint this figure. I can break this figure apart and paint it. And that's a good thing about this particular toy line. But that's not always the case, right? And that's not something you should always want to do. So, do I recommend this? I'm going to say if you're a fan of One Piece and you just want a representation of this character on your shelf, I say go for it. Does it need some work? Absolutely. But is it a bad toy? No. I think it's actually pretty good. I think it's a solid action figure. It's not gonna knock anybody's socks off. It's not gonna blow the roof off the house. But it's a good toy. You know. And sometimes I think as collectors, we forget that. Sometimes you just want a good toy. Sometimes it doesn't have to be Hot Toys, you know, movie, whatever, you know, MCU, DCEU, whatever. You know, you can't always expect that all the time, you know. And sometimes you just need a good toy. So I'm going to say, oh, and this gap area right here, that's something else I don't like. But I have to keep in mind, right? So let's get real for a second. Real fast. We have to keep in mind that these toy companies are, you know what? No. This is what I'm going to do. Y'all, I'm going to make a separate video. This is going to be the end of this review because I don't want to do this because what I have to say is good enough for a whole nother video. So I'm going to end it here. I'm going to pick back up, but you guys won't see that because this will be the end of the video. So I recommend the figure. I think you should pick it up. Like I said, if you like One Piece, I am going to gear up for my next little segment here. But you know my little saying, if you like it, buy it, and if you don't, leave it on the shelf for somebody else. Y'all have a good one.